In that one, well, he's going to try and make it an easy decision for the judges here and go out and get a solid first qualifying run.
Yeah, look at this, Korpulinski through the gears now, fires that car in, nice early initiation. I think he's another guy that knows he needs to get it done early, shallows up the angle massively, but he gives him that nice line, that good trajectory into that outside zone and into that front grip. Now starts to add the style and the flair to it as he flicks the angle on, looks for that front inner zone, flicks the car back again across the circuit into this outside zone, stands on the accelerator, pushes the pedal through the floor as he lights up the circuit. Across the line goes Korpulinski. He doesn't even want to stop there.
He's very good. Like, very good.
He's annoying.
This is a man that I think is sitting pretty safe. 5th position at the moment. Paweł Korpulinski, 85.5. Can go for it here.
Well, he's going to go for it because he wants to get into that playoff this afternoon after qualifying to gain some extra points. There are more points available on the board for these qualifiers. He will want to top qualifying. He was shallow on that second outside zone, and now he flicks the car very close to the edge of the circuit. And look at this from Korpulinski. This is wild. He dials on the angle. Look at that big flick. A little adjustment on the steering wheel, but we're splitting hairs as Korpulinski dials on the angle, opens up the throttle, and across the line he goes.
Last year, to continue that momentum. Randall lost a little bit of momentum, but it's a fresh start this year. Let's see who comes out on top as Korpulinski fires in. Late initiation from Korpulinski, but he gets it done, and it's a much cleaner from both of these guys. And you can see Randall now just losing a little bit of ground, but Korpulinski not on a huge amount of angle. They both make it through that inner zone as they transition back. Korpulinski got a big angle. Randall, oh, a little mistake from Randall. Had to come off throttle, and it's messed him up massively, and he couldn't get back going again. The tires gripped up, and Korpulinski with no such issues as Randall now tries to make a statement at the end of the run. But that looked to me like Oliver Randall got a little lost in the smoke, a bit of understeer, and it nearly cost him the whole run.
Yeah, that was a big mistake from Oliver Randall there.
Yeah, so this is going to be all on Korpulinski now. How does he manage the aggression here? Does he go too close and throw it away? Does he stay back? Here we go. This is going to be interesting to see. Randall's front spinner flapping in the wind as they go into the first corner. Nice entry from both drivers as Randall now gets on the throttle, but a little wide of that inner zone. Randall making some errors, which has put Korpulinski in a weird place, and Korpulinski makes a big error there and stays off throttle. And again, it looks to me like the lead run will be really scrutinized from Oliver Randall there through the first corner as they come back down to that last corner. Looks to me like Korpulinski getting back in his business now, up onto the door as they come around. Very clean finish to the run. However, the start a little sketchy. I think the judges are going to look at that inner zone. Very reserved, quiet guy, but behind the wheel of the car, he is every bit the swordsman. As he comes off the line, he has got 850 horsepower in this 2JZ S14 coming in very hot into that first corner. And Korpulinski doing a good job. A little bit of handbrake there just to settle the car. I think everybody's kind of doing that. This really smooth line from Paweł Korpulinski right now, Ian, and this is kind of, you know, you can see the track, the rain has stopped. We're trying to get those conditions up a little bit, but again, you know, not super aggressive, but doing the job, I guess, is the right way to look at this run, and I think that's the right approach. I think from Korpulinski's point of view, put a score on the board.
This guy silently move through the pits, silently move through the grid, and take people down left, right, centre. Look at him creeping through the gears, and he goes pace for pace, matches Passeur, looks for the back bumper. Nice initiation. Kevin Passeur looks like he's back on form, back flying, but he goes way wide. 2 wheels over the circuit, disposes of the back bumper now. His wheels off on outside zone 4, and that opens the door for Korpulinski as he goes for it. Almost makes contact with a bumper that's flying around. Passeur now angry, firing that car to the wall. Firing that car across the line.
Oh, that's a big move for the championship. The winner of round 1 on the ropes in the top 32 at round 2. The winner of round 1 is out of round 2. That's the reality here. But Korpulinski's got to keep it together now.
Yeah, he needs to keep it together. He needs to keep a cool head, but we know he's got a cool head on his shoulders. They come through the gears and he waits for that initiation, and Kevin Passeur is going to go for it. Look at this! Kevin Passeur even squeezes up on the inside. He knows he needs to do some damage. If he's incomplete, he needs to push 110%, and Korpulinski's giving him the perfect lead line to chase as Kevin Passeur gives him the room to manoeuvre. Now, big dive on the inside. Kevin Passeur, we've been robbed of what we could have seen this weekend.
I'm not going to exaggerate here and think that might be one of the best.
Now he says it's time for me to get that top step podium through the gear, laser focused. Is Laurie Hindman as he slams that supercharged V8 into gear over the hill. Absolutely pinned is Laurie Hindman. Korpulinski gives him some room and now loses a load of ground on the transition into outside zone 4. Korpulinski finds himself back in the fight, but Hindman is on an absolute flyer. Looks for the wall, dials on big angle as Hindman upsets Korpulinski's line, throws him into the middle of the circuit.
Oh, Hindman now in the chase position. All he's got to do is put some pressure on Paweł Korpulinski. Korpulinski's got to be inch perfect.
Oh, he's rubbing him down the hill. Wow, that was insane from Laurie Hindman. He pushed initiation, and now he goes for the dive in outside zone 4. And he's another man possessed this weekend. He's on another level compared to some of these guys. Can he make the dive on the wall? Of course he can! He's on the wall and on the door, and he over-rotates. Was there contact?
There was contact, but it'd be questionable whether it was enough contact to spin Paweł Korpulinski. Laurie Heinen's chase run up to that point was one of the greatest chase runs I've ever seen in Mondello Park. That was absolutely insane.
Shall we say, because, hey, he's been doing what he needs to do, but everyone else around him seems to be falling under pressure. Will McKeever, will the Northern Smoke Machine fall under pressure? It's time to find out. He goes absolutely flying through that first corner.
The speed from McKeever is almost insane through that first corner. As Paweł Korpulinski now dives up onto the door. Korpulinski back in the battle. As Korpulinski knows he's got to make the dive, and he does make the dive. Contact between McKeever and Korpulinski as they put it all on the line. Korpulinski in the smoke. And wow, we are watching some incredible driving here this weekend.
Question you need to ask, because we've seen it in the past, we've seen it before. Guys pushing too hard. They're through the gears, down through the chicane, over the crest of the hill. They're going to come. McKeever onto the back bumper already, pushing Korpulinski, and he's closer than anyone's ever been on that part of the circuit. Oh, Korpulinski goes wide, and McKeever stays with him, keeps it on the circuit. They fire into outside zone 4, and now you can see Korpulinski scared himself there. He had to back out of it ever so slightly, and that's opened the door for McKeever, who now starts to apply more pressure than before as he looks for the side of that S14, and he finds it across the line.
Oh, that initiation is just silly from Dwayne McKeever. It's actually silly because you can ruin the whole
Korpulinski
line.
gets on the line and gets off of the line. The Polish driver in this beautiful 2JZ powered Nissan 200SX S14A fires it in. He's full wet now, so they should know exactly what to expect, but they still gets into the wall. More back ends disposed of than you've ever seen in your life. As Paweł Korpulinski keeps a hold of it now, starts to dial the car in. Look how slow it is. It's way more controlled now. Much better for the drivers rather than the patchy conditions. He comes down the hill, looks for that little bump, and again another driver carrying that shallow angle, not trying to go too wide, off into that grass, flicks it across the circuit. Second to last outside zone for Field as he gets up close and personal to the wall and across the line.
It's tentative, but I think that's the clever move. I think if you're looking for your Korpulinski's position, you're thinking, it's full wet, at least it's consistent, I can get a good line.
And you can't come in super slow because you know that the guy behind you will be absolutely pinned to the door. Then here we go, they're through and they are going to go slow. And Kevin Passeur's going to go for a really early initiation. Holds onto it now. Can he play the game? Can he get that car around? Oh, look at Korpulinski. He's almost straight there, and he is straight, and he struggles to get that car drifting. He cannot get any angle. Passeur takes it to the wall, and now we start to see how slow that circuit is as they come back up the hill. Goes to the wall, tags the back bumper, the rear end pushed back into place for Kevin Passeur. They come down the hill and over the bump, and Korpulinski just can't get that car anywhere near where it needs to be. He can barely carry any angle as Passeur manages to get up the hill, onto the wall, and across the line.
Oh, it's like watching in slow motion. It's supposed to not hit that first wall. Whatever way the conditions are and the track change there, they just seem to smash into it regardless of experience, horsepower, or where we are in the competition. Look at that, Korpulinski taking a very, very tentative approach into that first corner as Korpulinski now hits the wall, Passeur hits the wall, they both hit the wall, both lose the boot lid off the car as they come through that last section. They can see Korpulinski now actually has a little bit more pace in the car, it seems, than Kevin Passeur. Korpulinski on a very shallow angle, though, as they come through there. Now, they come down the hill. Korpulinski doing a safe job here, and a good job from Korpulinski in the lead position as they transition back to that last wall. Look at Passeur trying to find some proximity wherever he can, and it's very sketchy. He almost pushes Korpulinski into the wall, and that is a tough, tough task for our judges to even decipher what to do here.
First thoughts? For me, Korpulinski's not really had a good fight, not really thrown down. This could be the round, though, as Korpulinski flicks in that Nissan 200SX S14A, puts the back end and the rear wheel right to the white line. Now gets that line dialed as he picks up that front zone. He's on a ripper so far. Can he hold it together as he flicks it across the circuit right to the edge, curb to curb, as he keeps it off the curb and into the outside zone. Korpulinski proving me and Dave wrong and proving that he is going to throw down this weekend, and he is going to put it all on the line as Korpulinski lays down a heater of a run.
Yeah, and I think, so here we go. Here comes the big old scores.
Yeah, here they come.
Will he go high 90s? Can he do it? It looked very safe, very controlled on the first. Will he risk it for a biscuit here?
Yeah, he's going to try, that's for sure, Dave. And we know Korpulinski, he always pushes that little bit extra in that second qualifying run. When he did just there, he put the wheel over the edge of the circuit. Don't go too deep there, keeps it clean now. now as he comes past the tower, flicks that car across the circuit, nice and deep. Will he get this one? Oh, and he handbrakes into it. Judges won't like that. There'll be points deducted for that moment as he now gets himself set up perfectly on this long outside zone, and Korpulinski still absolutely clinical as always.
He's just, he makes it look so easy.
Effortless.
And you're like, it's not easy. Just like the mullet that guy had in the grandstand. It's not easy to get that talented.
It's not easy to pull it off.
In that lead position, LZ in the chase. Let's see what happened. LZ and Korpulinski had a tough Finland. Let's see what happens. Can they turn it around here in Riga?
There we go, down through the gears to come. Nice initiation from Korpulinski. Lets that car sail to the edge of the circuit. Now gets on throttle, finds it. LZ up on the curve though and unsettles the car. Almost puts himself into a complete spin and now has to shut the car down. Korpulinski opens up the gap, jumps up onto the curb, uses that to force himself across the circuit into that final outside zone, and LZ out of this one as Korpulinski brings it across the line.
It looked to me like, and this is just my first thoughts, I think Adam LZ doesn't see that curb. I think he's lost in the smoke, and I think all of a sudden the back end of the car starts to lift.
The circuit to avoid that curb. Well, now they swap around LZ to lead out Korpulinski, and this one's not done until it's done. And LZ smokes tyres all the way off the line as Korpulinski fires it in. Will he play it safe? LZ drops out of the outside zone, now gets back into it again as he fires the car across the circuit. He's just going to try and drive away, but Korpulinski's not going to let that happen as they fire through outside zone 5. A little handbrake down from LZ as he gets into that last outside zone. Korpulinski gets himself into it, now looks for the door and across the line.
How many points solidly Heinen has? He wants to win. Here we go.
Yeah, look at this. Laser focus from Laurie Heinen as he absolutely leaves Korpulinski. Now Korpulinski dives, transitions early, has to handbrake. He's made a hash of it down the middle, and Laurie Heinen seems to be opening this one up and taking a good step into the Great 8. As Korpulinski goes for it. Oh, it's dangerous, it's close. Korpulinski almost puts Laurie Heinen through the wall.
And you can tell every time Korpulinski made a mistake, the grandstand was erupting because they are living and breathing their dreams through Laurie Heinen right now. All of those fans.
Korpulinski, this is going to seal the deal. So all he has to do is initiate and make it round that first outside zone. And Korpulinski's done that. I'm not sure how much more of the run he's going to do. He might fulfill a full pass. The car didn't look really 110% chasing Laurie Heinen. It looks pretty good right now as Korpulinski lays down a lead run, and that means it seals the deal, Dave. Heinen.
Yeah, out in top 16, and again, not really his fault. Well, it is his fault. He went on the curb, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So when you run your tire pressures really low, and you get close to a curb, especially the huge curbs, well, they're not even curbs, they're speed bumps here, you're going to DB the tire. And that's what Heinen did. He made the error. And that is devastating. Now, I don't know how much damage it's going to do to his championship, but
yeah, here we go through. Down, you look at Paweł Korpulinski as he flicks that car in, but look at Keski Korpi, no messing around, stays with him. They go nice and wide, look for the transition. Keski Korpi goes for it. He's on absolute bonus side right now. He's never been here before, and now he wants the podium. Absolutely throwing it down alongside Paweł Korpulinski. Gets the transition time perfectly. Korpulinski hasn't looked this strong all weekend, and now he looks like he's in the zone.
I'll tell you what, Paweł Korpulinski has been a little bit sketchy today, but that was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Masterclass in the lead position.
He hasn't looked that good all day. Great 8 is the highest that Keski Korpi has ever reached in competition. Now goes for it, flicks that car across the track. Korpulinski now loses some ground, but Keski Korpi's out at that outside zone. Goes back for 2. Korpulinski on the inside as Keski Korpi just about puts the wheel to the edge of the box. And look at that from Korpulinski. He's right with him, right on the back bumper. It dives through the smoke. Keski Korpi, wide angle, big angle as he fires into that final outside zone. Keski Korpi, Korpulinski, door to door.
Well, where was that Paweł Korpulinski all day? Because that
I think he was in the paddock.
I think he just said, you know what? We know Conor Shannon's in the final. Who will join him? We're about to find out. 2 runs of the fastest track of the year will decide it. As Dean fires in, and look at Korpulinski all over him.
Oh, he's absolutely good to him. Through the transition, through the smoke he goes. Korpulinski not letting James Dean get away. Dean shallow on the outside zone. Now he goes wide to the curb. Korpulinski still there. Dean can't shake the Polish driver. As Korpulinski takes a chunk out the side, takes a bite out of James Dean's door.
Hold the phone.
Wow. Where has he been all day?
Korpulinski, what time is it? Dinner time? What did he have for dinner? We're looking for a finalist here as Korpulinski fires in, and Dean's right there. Oh, a little wobble from Dean in the chase position as he goes into that. Korpulinski pushes out to the so now Dean's got to get the work done, and he's on him. He's all over Korpulinski here as they fire through the course. Big transition, and Korpulinski goes on too much angle and throws it all away. throws it all away and hits the tyres. Well, you just can't take your eyes off it for a second. Oh my goodness. I genuinely thought that was going to go the other way.
I thought that was his. I'm sitting there and you're calling it. I'm thinking, this is his. Look at the line. He's deep on 4. He's got a perfect lead line.
Oh, my goodness. And Dean is like, oh, well, that'll do. He's going to be cheered up either way. And you know what? No more deserving driver to be on that podium right now than Paweł Korpulinski. He has been putting in so much work to be here. Such incredible driving. And you know what? Makes very little mistakes. Sometimes, you know, his quiet demeanor, you forget about him.
Yeah, you do forget about him, and we've said it before, we've often counted him out of top 32 or qualifying because he kind of doesn't really make a lot of noise. Comes out here, does his thing, but this man comes alive in battles, and we've said that many, many times before.
I'll tell you what, he'll probably jump up the order quite a bit. Oh, he nearly goes in the wall. He did go in the wall.
He did go in the wall, yeah.
Doesn't matter. You can crash all you want on your victory lap. I would. He just felt left out.
Yeah.
Everybody else crashed today.
It destroys everyone.
Well, he's also 7th in the championship, so a good performance here can start pushing him towards that top 5, which is an incredible achievement given some sketchy results early on in the season. But look at this. Korpulinski goes to the edge of the track and absolutely nails it. Korpulinski's been looking good from the first run of practice. Korpulinski looks like he's got a handle of this track. And look at this. Absolutely inch perfect so far as he goes through the course. Korpulinski on an absolute flyer. It looks like he's in fast forward here as he comes through the course. Absolutely sending it.
He's pit, mate. Jump up the order. Can Korpulinski do more? Kroll scored a 92. They won't want that. There'll be banter across the paddock between these two as Korpulinski goes wider than Kroll now. Looks for the outside zone, puts a back bumper towards the wall, fires it through. Now this is almost a replica run of what Sherba's just done. Oh, wow, that was cool from Korpulinski as he puts the back bumper wall to the wall once again. Flirts with danger, looks for that final outside zone, and job done for Korpulinski.
I reckon if you played Korpulinski's first run, the only thing that's changed from one to the other is how much light is on the track. Let's see what happens as they come off the line. It will be Poland versus Sweden. It will be Korpulinski to lead out Pontus Hartmann.
Yeah, through the gears. Look at that little jump as Pontus Hartmann goes for a big initiation. Just doesn't quite pull it off. Korpulinski, textbook as always, that nice lead line. Opens the door for Pontus Hartmann, but the Swedish driver doesn't take advantage and now starts to let Korpulinski drive away. They come through the alley. Pontus Hartmann goes for it, but Korpulinski's up and gone.
I think that all fell apart for Hartmann in the first transition. I think he just kind of got, it was awkward. He kind of timed it wrong. Switching around. Here in Hungary at round 5 of Drift Masters, it is going to be Pontus Hartmann in the lead, Korpulinski in the chase.
And then we go through the gears, and I don't think Korpulinski's going to make that mistake, and Hartmann's down on the inside. He's going to struggle to get to outside zone 2, and he does. He misses it, has to handbrake for outside zone 3. I can hear the judges in the background moaning and groaning, and look at Korpulinski. He's capitalising on this. He's opening the door. He's using it. Oh, as he goes for a snappy transition in the smoke. Can't even see Korpulinski as they come through that final outside zone. These battles and take these people down and prove I am the best of the best, not get these formalities. Unfortunately, and I said this to a lot of drivers, you've got to take the good luck with the bad, because there's a lot of times out there when you do get bad luck and you make one mistake and the run could be over or the car could fail you. But right now from Paweł Korpulinski, it looks like he's getting a hell of a lot of luck, Dave.
Yeah, but I mean, he gets the look, but then he performs beyond that point.
Of course,
you know what I mean? So, like, I mean,
I'm taking nothing away from his capabilities as a driver.
No, and I think you could look at Conor Shannon going against Dwayne McKeever there and say that was a little bit of luck on his side, or Pazur against Dean, or whatever.
Off the line already, Korpulinski to lead out. Conor Shanahan for a spot in the final 4 away. Shanahan believes he could claw back the points. He could get himself back into the championship fight, and now starts to apply the pressure. Korpulinski goes almost 90 degrees to the wall, but it's not shaking Shanahan as he absolutely rips through the circuit. Korpulinski puts that car right where it needs to be, right to the edge of the circuit. Shanahan goes for a brave transition. Korpulinski puts it in the outside zone, but Shanahan's on him.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Korpulinski doesn't pull off something there. Now Paweł's going to turn it up. He's got to go for it. He's got to take it to a risky spot here.
He certainly has. Shanahan fires in. Korpulinski knows he needs to match everything that Shanahan did, and he's already given him the room to manoeuvre. Oh, Korpulinski goes early on the transition. He's early once again. He knows he needs to fall down onto the inside. They get through the outside zone, and now Korpulinski looks for that rear wheel. Shanahan flicks it through. Korpulinski almost makes contact across the line. They are so fast now.
My goodness.
this year. Here we go, through the gears, through the chicane. We get the green light. Shanahan to chase down Paweł Korpulinski. The final spot in our final four awaits. And look at the initiation from Korpulinski. Absolutely fires it through. No regard to any body panels or the car itself. But look at Shanahan not messing around. Korpulinski's on a ripper right now. But Shanahan's taking the advantage, using the door as a cushion right now as they fire to that final outside zone. Korpulinski on it and across the line.
Oh, this is good. This is really good from Korpulinski. Shined and ready, folks. Here we go. It's for a spot in the semi-final. Just to remind you, all the marbles.
Yeah, there we go. Nice initiation from Shanahan on the handbrake for a very long time, though. And it does slow him down. It does put Korpulinski on the back foot a little bit. Korpulinski now starting to make a move, starting to hunt down Shanahan as they get into the outside zone. Now Korpulinski's on the door. Gives him a little touch, a little nudge on the door to say, I'm still here, buddy. Korpulinski looks for it on that final outside zone. Shanahan up and gone, though.
Oh. I'm going to say it. They've lost a lot of bodily fluid, but they'll be happy if they can splash some champagne at the end of the day. Here we go. Paweł Korpulinski in the lead, the final up for grabs.
Yeah, and who's it going to be? Korpulinski goes for that wild, wide initiation, and it opens the door for Torani Kvyat as he takes 1 foot in. And look at this, Kvyat bouncing across the circuit. He's aggressive, as he always is, but look at the lead line from Paweł Korpulinski. It's so dialed, it's in the zone, it's right where it needs to be, and Kvyat needs to find that door, and he can across the line.
I think that's exactly what I expected. Yeah, brilliant lead run, aggressive chase run. I mean, they've got it in the lead. Korpulinski in the chase. Let's see which way this one goes. It's got to be some wild style from Kvyat against the consistency of Korpulinski.
Yeah, can Korpulinski turn up the heat? Can he turn up the aggression? He's going to go for it, that's for sure. Look at this, he's glued to the rear wheel of Torani Kvyat's 180 SX. They fire through the middle of the circuit. Oh, and Korpulinski almost gets himself caught up on the inside as now Kvyat goes on that perfect lead line. He's right to the edge of the circuit as Korpulinski now goes for a trouble, a big dive down on the inside onto the rear wheel. It's mirror image.
This is, I mean, I would not want to be a judge after that. Definitely not. So he's going to have to try and do this in a gear he's not comfortable. Oh, here we go. Drama already. Third step on the podium, up for grabs. Piscotti to chase in Korpulinski, and they're at it from the off.
Yeah, they are at it from the off. And look at this. Korpulinski knows that he needs to try and evade Kevin Piscotti, but Kevin Piscotti will not want to let him get away. There's a shot standing on at the podium. Oh, and Kevin Piscotti's car just will not have it. It will not hang all the way around that long outside zone, and another wobble, and it just allows Paweł Korpulinski to drive away.
Yeah, so heard from the marshal that the car is half engaging fourth gear, so it's like he has to kind of wrestle it into fourth gear, and that's what you saw there.
It's a dive on outside zone 5.
Korpulinski.
Korpulinski, sorry.
Yep, so Korpulinski in the chase position as they come off the line. Korpulinski fires in on the back bumper of Piscotti's car now. Will Piscotti's car engage gears here? What will Korpulinski do? Oh, the tension's building to the corner. We know it's coming.
Yeah, we do know it's coming. David Slontack car into gear this time, and up and goes. And in no problems whatsoever for Piscotti as he puts it to the wall across the line. But Paweł Korpulinski's all over him.
I'll tell you what, that's even more heartbreaking for Kevin Piscotti, because whatever he did there, if he just done it the first run, we wouldn't have this conversation.
No, he's had a lot of hurts.
Dangerous man to come up against him. He's 2 podiums back to back, and he's here in front of his home fans. Paweł Korpulinski throwing big angle into this first corner as he goes wide. So he's done a lot of laps of the sim in this circuit. And again, does a really nice job there. Now, it could have been a little wider to the walls there, but really fluid. The speed I like from this. He's doing a good job of being fluid around the whole circuit here, not taking any major risks so far, and I think that's probably the clever approach for the first half of qualifying. Very fluid, very fast. I mean, if some of the drivers that were early on in qualifying were chasing this, they'd be 20 car lengths behind at this point. Like, again, he's doing a great run, but not a phenomenal run. The little top of the wall there, getting a little close towards the last couple of zones, but yeah, safe run. Well, he kind of put a conservative first run in. Yeah, I think he's got to push here. If he wants to get way up the order, he's got to push a little harder.
Well, look, he's been here on his sim, practicing in this stadium, believe it or not, with his car for the Virtual Drift Championship, the VDC, the Drift Masters Virtual Championship, and he has done 1 million laps around here. Oh, that look at that was beautiful. Just a little touch of the bumper on the wall, close enough, but not too close, as Korpulinski now works his way around this outside zone, and now these guys are starting stepping up. Look at that big clutch kick to flick the car onto angle as he comes through the middle of the circuit, sets himself up again, another driver on that nice arc, just balancing the car on the foot brake as he gets himself into that second to last outside zone on the throttle once again, as Korpulinski dials it around and across the line again, another beautiful run.
There's an excuse for everyone. Here we go, he's up against Max Heidrich now. Max Heidrich said Korpulinski took him down the last time they went to the stadium. He said he's ready for this one. Big angle from Max Heidrich from Germany as he fires into that first corner. Oh, Heidrich using the wall as a crutch there to bounce back out of it. Pinball stations on the first corner. Korpulinski says, I'm not having any part of that until you settle down. And he transitions back. Korpulinski with shallow angle trying to get to Max Heidrich. Heidrich is on a flyer here. Big speed, big angle. But he's making a lot of contact with the wall as Korpulinski's using the exact opposite approach. Very tentative, small angle, but he's staying in the mix now. Korpulinski starts to make the dive, making no major errors. Oh, you can see that Korpulinski got stuck a little bit on the shallow line there, and now look at this, they're kind of wandering and wavering out of the last zone there. Two very different driving styles. Oh, they run into each other after the finish line. No mistakes, and that's very difficult in this sport with so many variables. Max Heidrich is like, you just wind them up and send them out into the stadium and see what happens. So it's going to be very interesting to see which way it works out. I think there could be some hits here if Heidrich doesn't calm this one down. Yeah,
Heidrich goes for it. Look at this, he's deeper into the zone than what Korpulinski is, but it's a little scrappy from Max Heidrich as Korpulinski now puts the front bumper at S14 into that inner zone. They fire through, and now Korpulinski seems to have the pace, but now he tags the wall. Heidrich makes a dive, and now he's got the proximity. Look at this, mirroring the angle, mirroring the speed, mirroring the proximity all the way through. A little shy for Heidrich there as he now has to make an adjustment coming into the second to last outside zone. He's lost some ground to Korpulinski. Korpulinski looking scrappy, tagging the wall, hitting the bumper, bouncing off the wall, and they lose that proximity right at the end of the run.
To find out is James Dean will be your higher qualifier. He will lead Ireland versus Poland for another spot in the top 8. Here we go.
Yeah, and here we go. James Dean wild already. Big flick across. He says, well, if I can't win the championship, let's have some fun and let's make this one an exciting one. Look at the line from Dean. Absolutely glued to the wall here. He is, but there's no shaking. Paweł Korpulinski, the Polishman, will want this one as well. He won't want to go down without a fight in front of his Polish fans. Oh, nice little dive from Korpulinski as he tucks himself up into the rear quarter of James Dean's S15. They fire through the outside zone. Korpulinski can't be shaken right now as Dean absolutely fires it across the circuit. Big angle from both guys, but Korpulinski deals with it, shallows up in that outside zone, and now starts to make the hunt once again as Dean flicks the back end to the wall. Korpulinski's on the wheel.
These cars have been through the wars, and now we go at it again. Dean wants to win the event. He's got to go through an on-form Korpulinski, and he's got to be on the door.
He certainly has got to be on the door. Will Korpulinski give him that opportunity? Will he give him that perfect, steady lead line? Well, he's already opened it up for him and said to James Dean, come on then, give me that proximity, give me that chase that I just give you. Oh, a little flex of the front bumper from Korpulinski. Absolutely beautiful into that inside zone. Now into this outside zone. Dean now starts to repay the favour. Little tuck up onto the door, a little nudge onto the front wheel to let Korpulinski know he's there. He goes very wide, Korpulinski. He has to make a correction on the steering, but he's in there. He's in that zone, and Dean deals with it. And now as Dean starts to repay the favour, they go wheel to wheel. Bootlids flying up.